Since patriarchy arose from 5,500 to 4,000 years ago, cosmetics began to start up among women in society. In ancient China, cosmetics are already become one of the necessities in every social class. The oldest form of cosmetics of China originated since Spring and Autumn period, which is about before Christ 770 to 476 years. In an age where there were no fashion magazines or style icons, the definition of beauty was largely decided by the emperor preferred. If the makeup of a particular emperor concubine was appreciated by the ruler, her style would become a trend that was followed by both nobles and commoners. Furthermore, the material using of the cosmetics in ancient China are quite different from present. At ancient time, the content of cosmetics are more based on natural material like flour, food, and minerals. Today, we want to discover the secret behind the ancient cosmetics and find out what kind of cosmetics that ancient Chinese women were using, how were they produced, and the culture behind the story.
In ancient China, red pigment widely be used in cosmetics as a lips color, blusher, and outdoor decorations. Generally, red color will be extracted from the plant and mineral. Flower petals are easy to find and acquire. In our experiment, we utilize rose petals as a raw material. The existence of the cyanidine in petals represents the specific color. Another red pigment in ancient period is a cinnabar, which is a bright red mineral consisting of the mercury sulfide. However, the toxicity of the mercury component arise precautions for use since ancient Rome. The low pH of lemon juice effectively against color fading, which has been found thousands of years ago. Ancient people also used vinegar as a dye fixing agent. Alcohol is an ideal solution to contain pigment because it is non-toxic and non-corrosive. In ancient China, people use Chinese spirits as this solution. In our experiment, we extracted the color from the rose petals by grinding. Then, we filter flower juice with gauze. In order to make the color significant, get rid of extra moisture is necessary. So, we boil the flower juice to make it denser.
But it's not enough to just have the red pigment. The dry powder can stick to lips. The most effective solution is to melt the pigment into the plant or animal oil. Grease is a main component of the lipstick that counted about 70%. The oil plays a vital role in making lipstick. In order to make the color uniform, the pigments must be evenly distributed. Therefore, the self-made process needs to gently stir the pigment and the oil evenly, and then grind the mixture with a metal ruler to flatten the agglomerated particles to make the grease and pigment fully integrated. The initial combination of the liquid lipstick, we need to cure the lipstick with wax. The oily pigment will be wrapped with the wax to form a queue until lipstick is applied to the lips, and it will break free, leave a liquid deposit on the lips. In addition to solid lipstick paper is also widely used in ancient China.
The base of ancient eyebrow powder was used to keep the pigment on the face and provide the effect of waterproof. So, ancient Chinese used oil and wax mixed with pigment. Oil can be extracted from animal organs and wax can be extracted from hive. In this way, enable the pigment thicker and easy to keep. In our experiment, we use beeswax mixed with olive oil and then heat it with separation of water. Because wax has high melting point, using the low temperature continued heating keep it in a liquid state and better bond with the pigment. After that, stir it well.
In ancient China, black pigment is generally from dye, which is a kind of dark pigment extracted from plant or rock. Dye powder we used in our experiment is blue dye, which extracted from a kind of plant. Another kind of dye is stone dye. It is called graphite at present, which grind from graphite rock. It is an isotope of a carbon and existed in natural environment. When blue dye getting moisturized, it will become darker and suitable for eyebrow color. Also, mix powder with oil and wax to let it thick can make the pigment endurable and waterproof. In our experiment, we also used coffee powder as an additive because we want the color can be more close to nowadays aesthetic. To clarify, there were no coffee in ancient China. However, after we get the final pigment, we find out coffee powder is not necessary because the color is dark enough. When finished up, flatten the powder into container to let it easy to be transported and conserved. Finished product provided accessibility for noble women. For commoners, they can only use soot from burning willow branches as eyebrow pigment.
The ancient brushes-based material can use starch, wax, or animal fat like bovine pulp and pig pancreas. Starch mixed with liquid will become sticky. It fits well with the skin and, compared with other materials, starch is easier to dye color. Animal oil have moisturize and lubricate function in cosmetics. It's well for our skin absorption. Wax in cosmetics make generally use beeswax in practice. Beeswax can make cosmetics well to shape and improve melting point. In our experiment, flour is the base of brusher. Put a moderate amount of flour in grinder, then drop smaller, more frequent flour juice to dye brusher base. After this, add wax oil mixture frequently in grinder to make powder more sticky and easy to carry.
Beautiful Tang women are often described in period poetry as having cream-like and snow-like skin. Pale, clear skin was the starting point for the Tang dynasty ideal of feminine beauty. One of the primary, oldest, and cross-cultural cosmetics used to whiten the face was cerutes or white lead. In ancient China, white lead was produced by exposing lead to vinegar. This was mixed with ointment and used as a cosmetic. There was a high incidence of lead poisoning in the 18th century because of the fashion for red and white lead makeup and powder. The makeup they used caused the eyes to swell and become inflamed, attack the enamel on the teeth, and change the texture of the skin, causing it to blacken. It was known that heavy use of lead could cause death.